probably the only one that made shareholders any money.
Why not just make a sport package that's 130 Rand a month?
That's a 35% swing.
For the entrepreneurs out there, maybe this is the idea for you. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Stock Spotlight. Today we'll be looking into Shoprite, Woolworths, Multichoice, and Stor-Age. So hopefully some of these companies interest you. So first of all, Shoprite, they just issued a business update, an operational update. So their group sales increased by 13.2% for the first quarter. So looking at the different segments, so the supermarkets in South Africa grew by 13.3%. Supermarkets non-South African grew by 9.7%. Their furniture only grew by 0.5%. And their other operating segments grew by 22.2%, which is good. The market share, obviously in the retailer space, increased by 1.24%. And this is now making it 55 months of continuous market share gains, which is just crazy. But then once again, odds are against you. The diesel expenses due to the electricity load shedding in South Africa amounted to 281 million for the quarter, which is 90 million more than the previous year in the same period. And their supermarkets in South Africa, they opened 43 new stores in the quarter. That's a lot, it's just 3 months, and they opened 43 stores. And they plan to open a total of 195 new stores in the 2024 financial year. Shoprite is just, I just draw so much inspiration from the company. The way they execute, the way they innovate. I mean, 60-60, how they just executed that and how they scaled that. Their marketing team, I don't know if someone's working 24/7, but with the World Cup, as soon as something happens, there's an ad the next day. It's crazy how they just execute on all fronts. And you can definitely see, if you look at the Pick and Pay results, how they are eating other retailers' lunch. And like we saw there, it's 55 months of continuous market share gains, which is just crazy. And I don't think that's going to stop soon. We see that they want to open 195 new stores. So obviously, they are quite expensive for a retailer. They on a PE ratio of around 21, which is on the high side, but it's because you are paying for a premium company. Imagine just, if load shedding costs and all these troubles that they are facing in the local economy, fades away. This company is just incredible. They pay a small dividend, great management, bit of a high PE, but if I were to put money, I don't own shares yet. But I mean, this is a company, I don't see how they can fail. But if I had to invest in a retailer, Shoprite is definitely my pick. Paul, what do you think?
Yes, great insights, Hugo. Maybe my 2 cents as well, looking at the results. Firstly, the group sales increased by 13.2%, way outperforming all of the other retailers and inflation in a struggling economy. We're in a recession, so I mean, sales of 13.2%, amazing results there. And then 55 months of continuous market share gains. That's crazy to me. On the lower end, they are eating up Pick and Pay, as if it's breakfast, lunch, and supper. And then the higher end, they're eating away at Woolies a little bit. And we see it in the numbers. So Woolies also, we're going to talk about that now, but they struggled a little bit. But Shoprite is it's not even like they're in South Africa. They're operating in another economy that's booming somewhere with these kind of results. And then looking at the other one, load shedding, yes, of course, that really sucks. It impacts everyone. But I think with the privatization of electricity and overall development in solutions for this problem, will take a few years and then it will be sorted. So I don't think this is a long-term problem for companies like this. Finally, they're firing on all cylinders. Will I buy the stock? Now, the problem for me with Shoprite, brilliant company, probably one of the best companies in the country, is that they are the best and everyone already knows they are the best. So you're always looking for alpha, something that the market doesn't know, and you have an insight and you think this stock is here, this is the market value, and you think the intrinsic value is here. And so you buy the stock hoping that it will go up to the value that you think it is. I think Shoprite is sort of fairly priced. They are the best. They're priced as the best. So very happy shareholder as part of the index. But I'm looking for other opportunities in that sense where I can really create alpha. But all of that said, once again, I just want to reiterate, brilliant company, one of the best we ever had, and probably one of the best we will ever have.
Oh, man, I'd love to hear from the community. You can let us know in the comments. Personally, they changed my shopping behavior. I used to go to Woolworths more often, and sometimes obviously also go to Checkers. But now, first of all, 60/60 is so great. I don't have to climb into my car, sit in traffic, look for parking, stand in a queue, search for what I want in the aisles. They removed all of that, those friction points. And they deliver within 60 minutes. So that is obviously incredible. And that forced me to change my behavior. I don't go to the stores anymore. I just 60/60. So they're actually stealing from Woolworths as well, because that's where I used to shop. Let us know in the comments if it's the same experience with you. Looking at Woolworths, their group turnover and concession sales decreased by 22.4%, which includes the contribution of David Jones in the prior period. Due to a few reasons, macroeconomic challenges and the backdrop of it due to the high interest rates and higher living costs and inflation. There's obviously also the disruptions in South Africa, like the taxi strike, port congestion, the bird flu. It's just a lot of challenges where Shoprite, they seem to be able to, with the challenges, go ahead. Other retailers look like they are struggling. What can you tell us about Woolworths, Paul?
Yes, exactly this. Like if you compare Woolies to Shoprite, of course it's not entirely comparable because Woolies have the fashion, home and beauty segments as well, which really actually struggled this year. So that decreased the profits a little bit. And also they serve the high-end customers, the higher LSM customers, whereas Shoprite covers the whole spectrum from USAfe for the lower LSM all the way up to Checkers 60/60. Woolies turnover minus 22%, Shoprite turnover plus 13%. That's a 35% swing, which is crazy. But yes, these type of problems like high interest rates, the bird flu, the ports, the ports is a nightmare in South Africa at the moment, and of course the weak economy impacts everyone. So not only Woolies. So I don't feel you can really give that as a reason why we didn't really perform. It's just because everyone was hit by that. So it's not company specific. Not great results. Let's hope for better results.
Speaking of bad results, Multichoice Group, this is a company I've never been interested in investing in. I remember with the Naspers unbundling, I sold as soon as I got the chance. I just think they're not ahead of the curve, and they're not innovating to be ahead of the curve. Obviously, they're sitting with all the numbers, but let's just quickly go through that before I give my comments. Their revenue declined by 1%, operating profit declined by 22%, free cash flow declined by 40%, and then the earnings per share fell by more than 100%. So they actually had a horrific time. And for me, it's small things. Let's take DStv as an example. The consumers are under pressure. If you look at something like Netflix, or there's so many channels you can compare it to. It's not exactly the same, but it costs 99 Rand a month. They've got scale because of it. It's more affordable, and the value is definitely more than the actual cost. So I'll be happy to pay. But with DStv, I don't have a DStv in my personal name. I just use go to a restaurant or ask, do what I need to do to watch sport, because all I really care about on watching TV is sports, and that's DStv Super Sport. So the cricket, the rugby, whatever it might be. They're sitting with the numbers and the data and the facts, which I'm not sitting with. So there's maybe a reason behind it. But just trying new things, for example, why not just make a sport package that's 130 Rand a month, and we can watch all the sport channels? I'm sure there's going to be more and more subscribers that would actually make up for, where some people might cancel their overall subscriptions. But it's just small things where I don't feel there's enough innovation coming from Multichoice, and that's probably why we're seeing it's just steadily declining. It's not a company that I consider investing in. Let us know in the comments. Maybe this could be a good thing for Multichoice to watch. If you don't have subscription, a DStv subscription, would you actually buy a subscription if it's 120 Rand a month to just access the sports? We'd love to actually know that stat. But Paul, what do you think?
Yes, that's a very interesting insight. I would actually go for that option, because paying 1,000 Rand a month for DStv at the moment, why would I do that? I mean, unfortunately for them, it's a tough place. It's a tough place to be in, because there's a structural shift in the economy, no fault of their own. I mean, they didn't come up with the idea of Netflix and Showmax and Amazon and all of these other platforms, but now you have an alternative option to Multichoice or DSTV, and a much better one because it's like on demand. I can search anything I want, pay basically nothing. I mean, what's that month? 100 Rand a month for Netflix or even less, or Showmax or one of these platforms. And also you have YouTube, which really presents quality, higher, longer format content where you can get your fix there. So what remains, as you rightfully said, is the sport. The sport is the only reason, in my opinion, why this company is still operating. If it wasn't for the sport, they would not be in business anymore. But the problem is, even now in a struggling economy, you have load shedding where it forces people, or our people can't like watch the sport all day as they wanted to for those who want to. And then also the economy is struggling. So what's the first thing people do when they struggle to put food on the table? They, instead of going to Zara, they now go to Mr. Price. Instead of shopping at Woolies, they go to Pick and Pay. And instead of paying 1,000 Rand a month for something like DSTV, they would probably cancel that and then watch other things or go to the bar and watch the sport, as I do, and I probably do as well, because I'm not willing to pay 1,000 Rand a month to do that. Or people share login details, which is also not ideal for the company. So yes, can they turn it around? I don't see how. I don't see the angle. Maybe going into Africa, maybe innovation, like you said, maybe only offering a sports package and making it 200 Rand a month or something like that. I think way more people would be inclined to buy into that. But long term, man, I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I think with companies and corporates like these, you just need some fresh energy and fresh innovation. I think that's what I would like to see. What would make me get some back interest into this company, get some innovation, try new things. Because what's busy happening is just I don't know where this is going. But anyway, the final company for today, Stor-Age. The name says it all of what the company does. Their property revenue is up 16.9%, which is proper. The same store rental income is up 13.6% in South Africa and only 3.1% in the UK. And they announced an interim dividend of 61 cents per share. Stor-Age is a very interesting business. I actually spoke to a few people now. We spoke about they need short-term storage for the entrepreneurs out there. Maybe this is an idea for you, but they're looking for storage just for like 2 weeks in December while they're moving from one apartment to another apartment or whatever it is. And obviously there's long-term storage as well. But what was interesting was the friends that wanted to get storage spaces couldn't. All of them are full. And that's the thing. Like my parents-in-law, they also have storage. I know a lot of people that have storage because you've got so many things that you don't necessarily want to sell, and you need to store them somewhere. And it's like 1,000 Rand a month for quite a decent space. Very interesting business. I'm not a big property or REIT investor myself. Paul, I know you know properties way better than I do. What do you think of Stor-Age?
Yes, I'm a physical property investor, not a REIT investor, but Stor-Age, there's been quite an uptrend in Stor-Age, and they're actually the only storage REIT on the JSE. All the other ones are like commercial property or office spaces, industrials, whatever. And they probably the only one that made shareholders any money in the last 5 years. If you look at the share price of the competitors, everything is down. I know, looking at the history, about 10 years ago, the REITs, the property REITs did incredible, and it was just overvalued by the market. And for the last 10 years, it's been a downward spiral. Of course, they do pay a very nice dividend because according to law, by the way, guys, this is like a nugget. If you buy into a REIT, they have a certain manner that they have to pay out a certain percentage. I think it's quite high, like 75% of their money as dividends for the shareholders. And because you pay out such a big portion of your profits in dividends, firstly, that will be a juicy dividend yield for the shareholders. But because you are giving away all the profits, you're not reinvesting it in the company. And therefore, the actual share prices of these companies tend to be very stable over time or even decrease because you're giving away all of the profits, basically. So what you're looking for in a REIT is one with a high dividend yield, which all of them basically have. Between, let's say, 8% and 12%, that would be your passive income portion. But then, of course, if you own the stock, you're looking for something that's not going to go down in value. So let's say something that's stable or even growing slightly, like let's say 2% a year, plus you get your 10% dividend yield, as in the case that Stor-Age basically did the last 5 years. and then you get your 10% yield plus your 2% growth. That's 12% a year, which is not bad, which is better than the average. So yes, I like Stor-Age. I think this is a great concept. I think there's a demand for it and an increasing demand for it. At this stage, I think it's a pretty good investment.
Yeah, let's see. So just a final announcement. We released a new app update on the App Store, so the App Store and Google Play. Our vision, and we've been through a few exercises on really nailing down our vision, but our vision is to make finances fun. And what fun entails is it needs to be engaging, it needs to be accessible, it needs to be rewarding, it needs to be relatable, it needs to be simplistic. So a lot of words, but we want to make finances fun. So we are doubling down on our quiz-based approach to learning on all things finances. So if you want to build streaks, earn rewards, just enjoy and build your financial knowledge, the FinMeUp app is there on the App Store and Google Play. It is free to download and free to use. I hope you enjoy. There's many more exciting updates coming, including a few rewards that we'll be giving away to our quiz players. So get in the game. Hope you have a great weekend. Cheers.